Today's lesson is going to be about the independent uses of the subjunctive. And as we've seen, the subjunctive is usually used for subordinate clauses of various types, but rarely it can be used independently. And we'll look at 5 different independent uses of the subjunctive. The first one is the hortatory subjunctive. This comes from the Latin deponent verb hortor, to urge. And it's a command that always involves yourself. So here you're kind of leading by example. So it's always going to use the subjunctive, usually in the present, and it's always going to be let me if it's singular or let us do something. So a classic example from Catullus, vivamus mea lesbia quamemus, let us live my lesbia and let us love. And then an example in the singular, festinem ad ludem, let me hasten to the game. Note that in both of these sentences, our subjunctive verbs are the main verb of the sentence, which is unusual. Usually it's the subordinate. The jussive subjunctive works just like the hortatory here. Jussive comes from eubeo, eubere, to order. And so again, it's a command, but this time you are not included. You're telling someone else to do something. So it's either in the third or second person, and it's always let him, her, them, or you do something. So examples, consumant caenam splendidam, let them eat a splendid dinner. And if you want the second person, labore strenue, let you work hard. Or if you want to just translate it like a command, work hard. The deliberative question is different from a normal question. The deliberative question is asking a question that does not have a definite answer. It's used to philosophize, for a rhetoric question, or when seeking advice, as opposed to a question that uses an indicative verb that has a definite set answer. What's 2 plus 2? 4. Indicative. Quid faciam? What should I do? Subjunctive. Right? Quo modo volant aves? How do birds fly? Subjunctive. Even though we might have an answer to that today, back in the day, not quite sure how those mechanics worked. Next, the optative subjunctive. This is a very rare use, and it's pretty easy to see because you're going to have that starting word that's usually utnam for a positive or utnam ne for a negative, and it's used for a future wish that can come true but might not necessarily come true, and that's where the subjunctive comes in. It's that little bit of doubt. So, our example, utnam Kaiser veniat, would that Caesar would come. And so you're hoping that he may come. You don't know if he's going to come save you, but he might. And then if it's something that's contrary to fact, so if it's something that you don't think is going to happen, but has a slight chance, you're going to use the pluperfect subjunctive for past wishes and the imperfect subjunctive for present wishes. So utnam Kaiser venerit, would that Caesar were coming, but clearly he's not going to bail us out this time. And finally, the potential subjunctive is used just to say that something might happen. This is going to look very similar to a normal sentence, except your main verb is going to be subjunctive and not indicative. You're going to use the present subjunctive for present things and the imperfect subjunctives for things that happened in the past. So examples, Kaiser Gallus vincat, Caesar might defeat the Gauls. There that subjunctive force of doubt comes in. In ante credere senatus, before now you might have trusted the Senate, but they killed Caesar, now you don't. Past wish, imperfect subjunctive.